What you just witnessed is a multiple rocket launcher launching rockets on the town of Kamanyola. Now, this is a border town in Congo, and the people who are firing this rocket system are Rwandan troops inside Congo. And remember, when they cross the border, they want to be called M23 rebels, but they are Rwandan troops. And the system itself is very expensive. It's a very expensive equipment that can only be from the Rwandan Defense Force. And next to it are two trucks, two military trucks that maybe supplies or carry the rocket themselves. So since Monday, for the last 4 or 5 days, this system has been firing rockets towards the town of Kamanyola and towards the Burundi border. Most of these rockets have fallen inside Burundi, and in response, the Burundian Army has also fired back using their own rocket system, and they've been doing this back and forth for 3 days. And this is the same time the president of Rwanda, the president of Burundi, and the president of Congo were in Washington signing a peace agreement. And all this fighting was going on. The Rwandan troops were trying to capture, they've, so far from what I've heard, managed to take the town of Kamanyola, and they entered from the Rwandan side, and the video was shot by Rwandan people who are on the other side of the river, Ruzizi River. So they are in this area called Bugarama. Bugarama is also a small town in Rwanda next to the Congo and Burundi border. And I'll be showing you that. But first of all, before I even continue, let me take you to the news and give you the update. So from what you're seeing, this is one of the newspaper, The Guardian. They're saying that people flee Congo fighting 1 day after peace deal signed in Washington. So even international news media are wondering what is going on. Well, at one point, the Rwandan president is in the United States pretending to be signing peace deals, while at the same time his soldiers are taking more territory and displacing people from their town. So they're saying hundreds have been driven into Rwanda as these M23 militia or these Rwandan soldiers are fighting with Congo and Burundian soldiers. Basically the same thing I was telling you. And they are fighting in this town which is closer to the Rwanda border called Kamanyola. And according to the latest story is that more than 1,000 people have so far been received inside the Rwandan border. These are people from Kamanyola. Some of them had tried to move to the Burundi side, but the Rwandan soldiers kept sharing that Burundi side, trying to target the Burundi soldiers that are there. So these civilians decided to change direction and move to the Rwandan border because they knew the Burundians would not target them. So the Burundian soldier actually paused the sharing for a while as these civilians from Kamanyola were seen crossing the border. So after almost 8 hours, when this civilian was seen going to Rwanda, that's when they resumed the sharing, firing back at the Rwandan position. They did this to a point that one of the communication tower that was there was also hit. And I'm going to show you where the communication tower is located, which was about 20 meters behind the truck that we saw firing the rockets. Now, this is Google Earth. Let me go to Google Earth right now. So as you can see, the lines in front of you are the borders, international borders between these two countries, or three countries, sorry. And Kamanyola is here. South in Mudaha is Burundi. North in Bugarama, where we saw the people who took the video, they were standing next to this border. That is Rwanda. And the rocket is stationed about 100 meters to the north of the town of Kamanyola, and it was firing all the way to Burundi. Definitely it can do 30 kilometer range, and that is what we have between Kamanyola and the Burundi border. And the Burundian army would fire back to this position, and that's what is going on now. The Congolese army also tried to do the same using their drones, but they were not successful for a while. Now I'm going to zoom in so that you see the location of that system. So from this map, there's this tiny road that quickly goes to the river and crosses over there. Vehicles cannot use it. This can be used by motorbikes and people. So it's a small track. But the road here, this is now the vehicle road, the one that is used by trucks. And from that video, and before I go there, I want to just show you that this is Kamanyola. This is the mosque. This is the church. I'll be showing you that later. So let's go to where the guard system was stationed. So in this corner, at this curve here, okay, so at this curve around here, that's where the guard system is stationed. As a matter of fact, on this corner where there's like a cliff, where you would expect a cliff, the road was cut into the mountain or the hill itself. Now on this other bend up on this hill is where they have the communication tower, as you can see. So this is the communication tower with its backup generators, and then, as I said, about 50 meters to this corner, that's where the truck is parked. And at this bend is where you find the guard system. So that is what happened. That is what is going on in Congo right now. I'm trying to get the 3D map so that you understand what I'm trying to say, so that you get the picture of what we were watching from that video of what is going on. So this is where the original video was taken. This is the location of the guard system, okay. And to this mountain, this is the communication tower. Now the Burundian rocket came and landed on it, hit here, and it went up in flames. But they were targeting the guard system that was stationed here, that was firing into the town and also firing into Burundi territory. So that is what is happening in Rwanda right now. That the Rwandan soldiers stroke M23 are trying to take the city or the town of Kamanyola. They want to make it their forward base as they try to basically advance south into Uvira. Now they are not able to do that because on one hand you have the Burundian soldiers watching them. On the other hand, you have the Congolese army, and then you also have the Wazalendo, which are people from Kamanyola. Now, Kamanyola has a history that goes back to 1996, February, when Rwandan troops crossed the border from Rwanda the same way they've done today, and went to the town of Kamanyola. There were 3 refugee camps there. Some of the camps were made up of Burundi refugees after 1993 genocide of Hutus in Burundi. And then 1994 happened, April 1994, and the war pushed a lot of Rwandan, mostly Hutu people, to this town of Kamanyola. And the RPF, which was mostly the Tutsi army of Rwanda, it was actually exclusively Tutsi, crossed the border together with the Congolese Tutsi, which is what we call Banyamulenge. Now these were soldiers, and came to Kamanyola and massacred a lot of people. It is documented in so many reports, and I just wanted to mention that so that you know. Today we are witnessing the grandchildren of the victims of the 1996 invasion now crossing the border going back to Rwanda, the same place that their parents were attacked from, and some of them could have lost their lives back in 1996. So today, the that generation is experiencing the same thing. And this is a war that has been created and supported and engineered by one person, Paul Kagame. And he has to be stopped one way or another. No matter what people say, oh, FDR, oh, the Tutsi were, they also Hutu, a lot of them who are unalived, and they don't keep talking about that. People have to move on. It's a shame that in 2025, the grandchildren of the people in Kamanyola who are unalived by these Rwandan Tutsis have also to cross the border because the children of the Rwandan Tutsis who came in 1996 have come back again. Something has to be done so that this ends. And the problem always points to one group of people, the Tutsi people inside Rwanda. That is where the problem has always been since 1950s, 1962, up until now.